Hi everyone, and welcome back to yet another video. And well, the next episode of Spy X Family has just dropped. And boy was it a good one. We've seen Yor finally do her thing and demonstrate why you don't mess with her. The plot is thickening. It would seem as if quite possibly that the plot that was set forth in motion in the first episode is stepping up a gear. Now, Keith, our villain, has once again set his dogs loose. But luckily, East and West are planning to make sure nothing goes wrong. I think just in general overall, Anya's been, doing a lot of the work for these episodes, and she's been doing it very well. One of the good points about the episode, was just the fact of Anya not wanting to lose her family. That was particularly good in the fact that the dog that she does and uses, the dog himself, has done remarkably well on the fact that she's the only one who pretty much knows the whole thing. And also, we're also seeing a few other interesting details. The episode's foreshadowing the fact that everything's going to come together. I think the best bit is that quite possibly Anya doesn't necessarily think she can do it. I mean, she's a child, and adults don't tend to usually reflect on children, and the fact that she's using her wits is also quite good as well. But at the same time, they make jokes about the fact that one, Anya can't tell time, and at the same time, she can't read a clock face properly. That I thought would be something that she would have been taught, at least at the orphanage, as she's about 6. But I suppose education isn't really something that the orphanage would have done. And also the fact that the other thing is that I think Anya, her character's just grown leaps and bounds. She's become far more resourceful. I suppose one of the bad things is the fact that Yor doesn't seem to be doing all that much in the episode. One of the better moments is the fact that she demonstrates, she is very scary enough to scare basically a dog about to attack. And also just the fact that her attachment to Anya has definitely grown over the last few episodes. And I think also just the fact that I have a theory about Yor's character, and that is the fact that, one, being the fact she's most likely an orphan and had to raise her younger brother herself, this has really made her very, very protective over, children from a young age. And as a result, sometimes you can often tell with some people. Anyway, back onto it. The other good thing about this whole part of the episode is the fact that Anya doesn't know how to disarm a bomb, but instead, she uses her wits. For example, she squeezes through a small window and then she tries to defuse a bomb, but that bomb proves too difficult for her to disarm. She's a 6-year-old, she doesn't know how to disarm a bomb. So instead, she uses a bottle of ketchup with a big no and running around the door handle to warn them. And the good thing is the fact that Loid realises it's some kind of a message. I think the other thing is also, just the fact that when they round up the gang, we learn just the fact of a few things about the fact of the wise agents in Ostania. First of all, the fact that we know for a fact that Loid is a war orphan. And in fact, he's witnessed the conflict firsthand. And it's safe to assume the fact that his boss has also probably experienced something similar, but being the fact she's older, she's could possibly experienced it in a far more visceral way than Loid did. That is very interesting. It's definitely a change of pace from the comedy. There is plenty of comedy in the episode, and for what comedy there is, it's very good to see it. But it's done in such a way that it pretty much reflects the fact of Anya not being able to do anything. And as a result, she has to rely more on her wits and basically her own imagination, which really does do her justice. I think also, just in general, the fact is the fact that whatever the war was, it was so devastating that both sides know for a fact that another conflict would destroy it. But the funny thing is the fact that Ostania was most likely on the losing side. And as a result, it wants to get its glory back. And as a result, that was a good thing about this episode, was the fact that there's a lot of people within Ostania who want to destabilise the relationship and start some kind of conflict up again. Or else, quite possibly, these are the people who've probably been raised in the families of the old Ostania elite. And as a result, when Ostania, or whatever, Ostania was on the losing side of the war and was paid heavily for it. Quite possibly, Ostania might have even played a role similar to Nazi Germany, in the fact that East and West closed in on all sides. Eastern side reached it first, dismantled its government and put a whole lot of heavy things on the country. And like Nazi Germany, Ostania is now trying to get its glory back. However, technology has reached the point in which weapons are far more powerful. But that's just a theory I have about it. Anyway, back onto the episode. I think just in general the fact that you've also got the comedy, the fact that Keith suddenly thinks that, holy cow! Keith's reaction to the fact of Loid being the minister, thinking the fact that the Loid, when Loid is the minister, thinking the fact that a 60-year-old man is a monster, and let's face it, when in actual fact he's a highly trained, physically fit spy. But still, nonetheless, I think just that whole shock thing is brilliantly done. It's probably one of the better gags yet. Just watching Keith's reaction go pretty much have the same look at everything. I think also just in general the fact that the episode is still the same show it is, and it's more dramatic, which is a good thing. Okay, there's less comedy, but it's more dramatic. I wish there was more of the jokes, but then at the same time, the jokes are better spaced out. They're breaking the tension with a joke unexpectedly, and sometimes you'll find yourself laughing. That is something that I think is really doing this episode good. More dramatic, but then again, Spike's Family is a dramatic comedy. So this episode is probably going to be the best one yet. I'm hoping for probably more jokes for that, and quite possibly there's probably going to be a lot more jokes in the next episode, as the whole plot just ends next week. Well, that was certainly an interesting episode, to say the least. With this episode, I wish, like the other one, there was more jokes, less dramatics, but then again, I can understand the fact that this is quite possibly a more dramatic arc, and sometimes you want to get more drama in. Bearing in mind the fact the first season was just literally just full of gags. So, I think in general this is probably one of the better episodes. Might be one of the... It's hard to say. Yeah, it's a little bit stronger than the first one. You know, Yor does more. Anya's certainly doing a thing, and Loid's off doing his own thing as well. I like that, and I just wish, beyond anything, they finally get the balance right in the next episodes. That's all I think I would just like to say. And with that, I'm the Universal Challenger signing off, asking you to please leave a like, comment and subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheerio!